We are back. Tomorrow is UFC Qatar Sarukian versus Hooker. This video is a little later than usual, but it works out because Shamil Gaziev is no longer fighting Sergey Spivak. He's now fighting Waldo Cortez Acosta, which we'll get into later in the video. That's the people's main event. If you know, you know. That's what people are showing up to watch. That's the greatest heavyweight fight of all time. Cannot wait to see that one. Cannot wait to tell you who I'm picking for that, because I've been tossing and turning thinking about who's winning Shamil Gaziev versus Waldo Cortez Acosta in the heavyweight division. Fighting for a top 10 spot. I mean, Waldo already has it, but Shamil could be breaking in the top 10 with this one. But anyways, let me jump right into it. Sarukian versus Hooker fight night. First fight of the night, we've got Marek Bujlo versus Denzel Freeman. I've got Denzel Freeman winning this one. Don't know much about either one, but I know that Denzel Freeman has been around much longer than Marek Bujlo. This dude's been in PFL and promotions like that. He even had a post-fight interview where he called he, he called Liv Morgan out for a date, something like that, in his post-fight interview. But I'm saying Denzel Freeman wins this fight by TKO in the first or second round. I think Marek Bujlo, this dude's a BJJ specialist, but he's very unproven. He only started MMA in 2021, and I think Denzel Freeman's going to be able to knock him out. So that's my official pick. Moving on, Nurulo Aliev versus Shamrock. Shamrock's first fight in the promotion against Nurulo Aliev. This dude fighting twice a year, 2 times in 2025. That's unheard of for this dude. First time ever. Shamrock has an inch reach advantage on him, and he's pretty good. He is pretty good. He's got a lot of submissions in his career, but I just see Nurulo Aliev being able to take him down and control him the same way he's done to most of his competitors, you know. Shamrock might have some close submission attempts from the bottom, but that's really the only chance I'm giving him here. I think Nurulo Aliev wins this fight by decision after taking him down and rinsing some control time. Moving on, Ryan Loder, Ismail Nardiev. I got Ryan Loder winning this one, guys. Ismail Nardiev, in his last one, he lost to Jung Young Park. He was winning the fight until he gave up a bad point deduction because he kneed Jung Young Park when he was downed, and it was like a very egregious one. But Ryan Loder is getting disrespected on the odds, and he lost to Azamat Bekaev. Bekaev's not a bad competitor. Bekaev lost to Belgari, but Belgari's a beast. I don't think that's a bad loss to have on your record. I think Ryan Loder is going to bounce back against Ismail Nardiev here, and I think he's going to win this fight by decision, I think. I was about to say a finish, but I don't think he's getting a finish, to be honest. I think it's going to be a close decision, but Ryan Loder's taking this one for sure, I think. That's the official pick. Moving on. Beksat Almakhan versus Alexandre Topuria. 12-2 Almakhan, 6-1 Topuria. Almakhan had a close fight with Umar. I mean, not really close, but he knocked down Umar in the first round, and then Umar kind of turned into the robot mode and just started wrestle fucking Beksat, and it was that for the rest of the fight, to be honest. But Beksat then knocked out Brad Katona 6 months ago, which was it was a nasty knockout, and good on him. I mean, that's a good win. Brad Katona's pretty good, and he knocked him out in the first round. Very good win, but Topuria, something about him, man, he just beat Thickness. It was like a 30-26 decision where he was just able to do whatever he wanted to Thickness, took him down at will, beat him up. I think he's going to be able to out-wrestle Beksat, and that's kind of what it comes down to. Topuria is going to be he's going to be shooting and extinguishing Almakhan's threat on the feet. That's kind of where I think this fight's going to be going. I think Topuria is going to be taking it to all 3 rounds, and it's going to be a decision. Topuria takes it 29-28. Maybe Beksat wins a round on the feet, but I think Topuria is going to end up taking this by decision. That's the official pick. We move on. to the next fight. Abdul Rahman Yakayev versus Rafael Sirkua. I'm going Yakayev by knockout over Sirkua. Yakayev just knocked out someone on the Contender Series. Pretty brutal win. And Sirkua has lost his last 3 fights. Shouldn't even be in the promotion anymore. He got knocked out by Bukakis and Ibo Aslan. Lost to Julius Walker. I think Yakayev's going to put him out bad. And that's going to be the official pick. Round 1 knockout for Yakayev. Not spending more time on that one. Alex Perez versus Asu Almabayev is next up. 25-9. Alex Perez lost 4 of his last 5 fights. He's lost, and he's against Asu Almabayev, who's 22-3, who's won 4 of his last 5 fights. Only lost to Benel Kopp, and that finish, anyways, was a little questionable too. They were both fouling each other like crazy in that fight, but he did get finished by Benel Kopp. There's no question about that, but it was like a very foul-heavy fight for both of them. But Alex Perez is not going to win this fight. This is an Asu Almabayev decision all day. Asu Almabayev is pretty good on the feet, though. I've always talked shit about Asu Almabayev, to be honest. He's not a fun style to watch, I don't think. He's a very pitter-pat striker on the feet, but then he'll throw in like a crazy winging like spinning wheel kick or something out of nowhere. That's the fun part of his style. But then when he's on the ground, it's not that fun to watch. But that's how it is with a lot of these guys. But you can't say it. He does have underrated striking, to be honest. I am just very harsh on this guy. I think he's gonna win this fight by decision over Alex Perez. That's the official pick. We're going to Asu Almabayev by decision. Moving on, Saigid Isagakmaev versus Nicholas Dalby. 22-2 Isagakmaev, and 23-6 Nicholas Dalby. He just got knocked out by Randy Brown 6 months ago and lost to Rinat Fakhretdinov a year and 4 months ago. That was a very close fight too, where he honestly could have taken the fight. But I think he's just past his prime at this point. He's 41 years old, and I just don't see him being able to keep up with Saigid. Saigid's going to be wrestle heavy in this fight, is what I'll say. He's going to be very wrestle heavy in this fight, and I see Saigid pushing a dominant pace, and he's going to win this fight. Jeez. I don't know, man. This is going to a decision. Saigid's winning this fight by decision. I can't see him putting out Nicholas Dalby. Nicholas Dalby is a tough cookie anyways, but maybe he's just too far past his prime, and Saigid, his ground game is very good, so maybe he's able to submit Nicholas Dalby for the first time in his career. Who knows? But I just can't see him being the first guy to submit Nicholas Dalby in his career. We will see what happens there, but I think Saigid wins by decision. Moving on, Luke Riley versus Bogdan Grad, a very fun fight. 11-0 Luke Riley, 15-3 Bogdan Grad. They're both scrappers, but Bogdan Grad just gets too scrappy in his fights. Very, very scrappy in all of his fights in the UFC so far. He just lost to Naimov, where he was winning on the feet, but then he would get taken down and just kept on his back. Against Lucas Alexander, it was a round 1 knockout for him, but he kind of got wobbled at a moment. I think it was like a very brawly fight until he put Lucas Alexander down. Like, he could have taken a big shot and got put down himself, but he won the exchange. Michael as well on Contender Series, split decision, where it was like a very back and forth fight, one of the best fights on Contender Series, but he won it, but it was like a very scrappy back and forth fight. Came down to the wire. Bogdan Grad did a bit more than Michael as well. I just see him getting into a scrap with Luke Riley, and Luke Riley landing a massive shot on him and putting him down. I'm saying Luke Riley, round 2 TKO over Bogdan Grad. That's the official pick. We move on. Kyoji Horiguchi versus Tajir Ulanbekov. 24-5 Horiguchi, 17-2 Ulanbekov. 5-inch reach advantage for Ulanbekov, 2-inch height advantage And he's only a year younger than Horiguchi, which is interesting, but Ulanbekov has been in the UFC for a, a while, and Horiguchi's on his re-debut in the company. This is his re-debut. He was in it like a decade ago, but he's been in Ryzen and fighting Sergio Pettis and Kaya Sakura and guys like that. He did have a win over Kaya Sakura, but he did also get knocked out by Kaya Sakura, and he's been submitted a couple times. I think Ulanbekov's going to be able to out-wrestle him on the ground. And I just can't see Horiguchi winning this fight. It would be cool. It'd be cool if Horiguchi got it done, but I see Ulanbekov being able to take him down, control him, and even on the feet, I could see Ulanbekov being the better striker on the feet than Horiguchi. I think a lot of people are gassing this dude up, but I think Ulanbekov is getting underrated. Even in that Tim Elliott fight, Tim Elliott was hooking the gloves of Tagir Ulanbekov. That's how he beat Tagir. So I'm not really holding that one against him. And he's been beating good guys in the promotion. Clayton Carpenter, Azat Maksum. I think Tagir wins this fight. It's going to be a decision where Ulanbekov takes it 29-28, and one judge says 30-27 for Ulanbekov. That's the official pick. We move on to the next fight. The people's main event of the evening, Waldo Cortez Acosta versus Shamil Gaziev. The people's main event. On short notice, Waldo steps up to fight Shamil. Sergey Spivak is out and Waldo is in. Salsa Boy fought just 2 weeks ago. He's going to be 3 weeks by fight time, but just 2.5 weeks ago, he fought and he steps up on short notice. He beat Auntie Dalia. Dalia eye pokes the fuck out of him, and Waldo Cortez Acosta nearly gets fluked by the referee. The referee seems to stop it and wave the fight off, and Auntie Dalia thinks that he got a round 1 TKO over the dude. That's not what happened, though. He got eye poked. Waldo continues, and then he puts Auntie Dalia down with a counter. It was like a right hand, I'm pretty sure, or jab cross, okay, to ground punches. And incredible performance by Waldo, man. I have completely flipped the switch on Waldo. I didn't like this guy after his fight with Andrei Arlovsky back in January 2024. I was very harsh on this guy because of all of his taunting and all that, but he dialed it back. He kind of locked in a bit. He beat Rebelis to Spain. Ryan Spann he knocked out. Sergey Spivak he beat. He lost to Sergey Pavlovich, but Pavlovich is a massive, massive dude for the division. And I think, oh man, because Gaziev could also be wrestle heavy, and that's how Pavlovich beat Cortez Acosta, was Pavlovich took him down, and Cortez Acosta couldn't really get up from the ground as much as he should have. It was a very close fight on the feet anyways, but Pavlovich just did more on the ground. And Shamil could take down Cortez Acosta, I think. I've been so back and forth on this fight. Man, I'm going, to be honest with you, I think I'm going with Waldo Cortez Acosta over Shamil Gaziev. I was going Shamil over Sergey Spivak all day. I was saying Shamil beat Sergey Spivak by round 2 TKO. But Cortez Acosta is a different beast in heavyweight, man. This dude's striking is fast, it's polished, his head movement is clean, he's fast. He gets out of there. He gets out of range after he throws, and Shamil is a good striker in his own right. He's probably the stronger puncher, maybe, over the two. He probably punches a bit harder than Cortez Acosta. But Cortez Acosta is faster. He's going to be throwing in the combos more. He's going to be in and out of range. And he might be able to get the underhooks on Shamil Gaziev and stop the takedown. Man, I could totally see Shamil winning this fight, though. But I'm saying Waldo Cortez Acosta takes it over Shamil Gaziev, pushes a pace over Shamil, and wins this fight by decision 29-28. Might lose the first round and take the second and third. Maybe he takes all three, 30-27. But Waldo Cortez Acosta is my official pick in this fight. I'm taking him by decision. We move on. Jack Hermanson versus Miktik Oral-By. An interesting one. Jack Hermanson is moving down from welterweight to middleweight. And Miktik is moving up from lightweight up to middleweight. This is a very interesting one because Jack Hermanson just got knocked out 4 months ago, up a weight class to Gregory Rodriguez, put out bad. And now he's cutting more weight, moving down, fighting a guy that's had very close fights. He had a very close fight with Mateusz Rebecki where he nearly put out Rebecki in the third round with ground punches. And the Elvis Brenner one, he could have got a finish in that one. He beat Tafik Musayev 4 months ago. I think Miktik Oral-By is going to score a finish over Jack Hermanson, I'm saying Jack Hermanson's chin is gone. He's at that point in his career where a knockout like that can really affect him, and he's 37 years old, and he's cutting more weight now, moving down a weight class from 185 all the way to 170. So that's a 15-pound cut that he has to do now. Or that's... Yeah, this fight's at welterweight. I was tripped out for a second, but yeah, this fight is at welterweight. So that's a 15-pound cut that he has to now do. Oral-By might be undersized. It depends how this dude has sized up. But he missed weight bad against Musayev. He weighed in 10 pounds overweight, something like that. The fight was still allowed to take place for some reason. He was already sized up 4 months ago. He's decided to fully size up. So it depends how this dude is able to bulk up. But I don't see him being that undersized to Jack Hermanson. I see this is going to be a problem for Jack Hermanson. He's going to have no chin, and Oral-By is going to put him down and then put him out with ground strikes. It's going to be a knockdown into a TKO. Where Miktik wins in the second round. He's going to put him down and knock him out with finish him off with ground strikes. Oral-By wins this fight by second round TKO. Is my official pick. Bad career move by Jack Hermanson to move down a weight class. 15 pounds after he got put out 4 months ago. Knocked out cold. And he's cutting 15 pounds. I say Oral-By puts this dude out. We move on. Volkan Ozdemir versus Alonzo Menifield. Alonzo Menifield on a 2-fight win streak. Kind of interesting, though. I think he honestly could have lost both of those fights. But he unanimously won against Umar Sy. But I honestly don't think it was that crazy to think Umar Sy could have won that fight. Let me pull up the stats. Yeah, Umar Sy outstruck him anyways. I thought Umar Sy could have won this fight, to be honest. Round 1 and 2. Or, yeah. Anyways, that doesn't matter. He won the fight. Very questionable 2-fight win streak where I thought Julius Walker could have won and Umar Sy could have won. He's fighting a guy that's a very tough out no matter what, and he just lost to Carlos Alberg, who's going to be a title contender. Who is a title contender. I think Volkan Ozdemir wins this fight over Alonzo Menifield. I think he's going to knock him out too, to be honest. I think Alonzo Menifield's going to have to push a pace. It's going to have to try to make this fight pretty sloppy. And Volkan Ozdemir's a clean striker, and I think he puts down Alonzo Menifield with a counter right hand. In the second round, I'm saying Volkan Ozdemir wins this fight by knockout. We move on to the co-main event. Bilal Muhammad versus Ian Gary. 2.5-inch reach advantage for Ian Gary. This dude is 4 inches taller. Going to be massive compared to Bilal Muhammad. Kind of see this fight going all 3 rounds, being more boring than expected. Some people are expecting a finish here. I don't see it happening. Bilal Muhammad is pretty good. A lot of people are still underrating him, but I mean, I could see Ian Gary knocking out Bilal Muhammad. It's always possible, but I'm just gonna say Ian Gary is able to stop the takedowns. Bilal Muhammad might hold him against the fence, but Ian Gary is going to reverse the positions. And he's going to outstrike Bilal Muhammad on the feet. And Ian Gary's going to win the decision. It's going to be a clean decision win for Ian Gary. And it's going to cement Michael Morales as the title contender. As I said earlier this week, if you watched that video, Ian Gary is in need of a finish here if he wants to get a title shot. So maybe he does get a finish here, but he definitely needs one to get a title shot, in my opinion. I think it's going all 3 rounds. Ian Gary wins this fight by decision. We move on to the main event, Arman Tsarukyan versus Dan Hooker. I just want to say, very interesting moment at the face-offs. Arman Tsarukyan headbutted Dan Hooker when they faced off. Like, what is this? Why would he do that? Why would he headbutt? Very interesting moment. Are they going to fine him or anything? They might ban Dan Hooker for life after that, because he got headbutted from Arman Tsarukyan. Maybe they ban him for life. You know. But very interesting moment. I think Arman Tsarukyan is going to get a finish over Dan Hooker. Again, I think he needs one to get a title shot. They've been waiting to book a lightweight fight. And I think Arman Tsarukyan, they've been telling him he needs to get out there and fight. He finally gets out there and fights number 13 in the division. I think he's going to finish Dan Hooker on the ground in the first or the second round. I put in an under 3.5 as one of the best bets in the Sparring Sessions podcast there, if you saw that. But I'm saying Arman Tsarukyan is going to be able to take down Dan Hooker, and he's going to, at least on the ground, he's going to be able to beat him up. But on the feet even, I could see Arman Tsarukyan landing a massive shot, putting Dan Hooker down. And I think Arman Tsarukyan wins this fight by first or second round. TKO is the official pick. That's all the fights on this card. Let me know what you guys think. We got it in record time. Make sure to set your alarms for tomorrow as the fight night starts early, 11 a.m. start time. So make sure you're up. Make sure you're ready. Let me know what you think. We'll be back here for more soon. Thank you for watching.